friends, it's Lisa and welcome to a new video. So I am going to be doing a reading vlog for this video and I'm very excited. It's been a while since I've done a reading vlog like dedicated to just reading one book and giving you all my thoughts on it. So that is what this vlog is going to be, and I'm going to be reading Instant Karma by Marissa Meyer. So in case you do not know, in case this is your first video you're seeing of me, Marissa Meyer is one of my favorite authors, so I of course wanted to do a whole reading vlog dedicated to reading her new book. So for the most part, I'm very excited to read this, but I'm just a little bit nervous, only because it's a YA contemporary, and Marissa Meyer's never written a contemporary before, so that's really cool. However, I don't always love contemporaries, especially like YA contemporaries. There's a lot that I like and enjoy, but it takes a lot more for me to like really love a YA contemporary, so I'm a little nervous, but I do think I'm going to like it. But because I'm doing a whole vlog dedicated to reading this, I am going to be having spoilers in this vlog. This will be a spoiler-filled vlog, so if you don't care about being spoiled or you've already read the book, feel free to continue on watching. But if you have not read the book already and you don't want to be spoiled, add this to your watch later, come back once you've read it, and then we can talk about it, because I definitely want to know how people think about this book, like what they think about it, if they liked it. I want to know all the thoughts, so definitely come back and watch this once you've read it. But for now, I would click off because I am going to be talking about spoilers. So yeah, I'm very excited to get into this. I have not started it. It's November 4th. It came out yesterday and I went and bought a copy yesterday. So I'm probably going to be starting this today. I actually think I'm going to settle in and read a little bit before I have some lunch. So yeah, I'm going to be starting this and I probably will update you guys once I have some initial thoughts. But yeah, I just wanted to intro this vlog, say that I'm going to be reading this and I'm so excited. But also quickly before I wrap this up, I do want to say thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers. It hasn't sunk in yet. I think I'm going to do like a 1K Q&A, so make sure you're following my Twitter and my Bookstagram, because I'll probably ask for the questions there. But yeah, it hasn't computed yet. Like, I don't understand how I have that. Like, I don't know. I'm very lucky. Thank you so much if you're subscribed. Thank you so much for supporting my channel, supporting my videos, commenting, liking, subscribing, all of that stuff. I genuinely appreciate it. It just hasn't it still hasn't sunk in. Probably because I got to 1K, lost it, got to 1K, lost it again. Like, it happened like multiple times, but it's for real this time. Like, I have it. So thank you so much. Make sure you're following me on Twitter and Instagram so you can participate in my Q&A. But yeah, I just wanted to say thank you and that I appreciate it very much. But yeah, other than that, I'm gonna go and start Instant Karma, and I will check in with you guys once I have some initial thoughts. Okay, so I'm on page 4. I'm definitely not going to update every 4 pages, I promise. But Prudence, the main character, already extremely relatable. I mean, here's the thing. I'm not expecting to relate the most because I think she is a sophomore in high school, which is not me. Oh God, I was a sophomore how many years ago? Anyway, we're not going to do that math. I'm not expecting Prudence to be necessarily relatable to me now, but as a sophomore in high school, as she is in this book, she's talking about her annoyance at her partner not showing up when they have to do a presentation, which was me in group projects. It's always group projects. Group projects are just not fun. But also she's extremely stressed and nervous to do a presentation, and like, same. Always was that way with me as well. I would get so nervous, I'd get so stressed out, I'd be shaking, I'd be sweating, my face would be all red, and it's just so interesting to read about a character who is literally having the same reaction I would have to presenting and public speaking in any way. So that's kind of funny, very relatable. I understand her pain. But yeah, I'm only 4 pages in, so there's not much else to say. That's it. Okay, hello. I wanted to give a bit of an update on Instant Karma. I also just realized I'm wearing my blue light glasses. My sister got these for her Halloween costume and she just gave them to me. So I've been editing a video, which is why I haven't read much today, but I am up to page 40. So beginning of chapter 6, and I have a feeling like the big thing that's gonna like be the main plot of the story is about to happen. I knew going into this book that the main character Prudence hits her head and like after that, like she's able to cast instant karma onto people, and she just hit her head at where I'm at. So I think that I'm about to get a little bit more into the story and get into the main plot points of the story. But I am enjoying it so far. I'm probably going to do some more reading today because I'm up to that point in the book where I think a lot of it is going to kind of start moving forward. But Prudence as a main character is really interesting because she has a lot of things that I can relate to, where she's like nervous to do public speaking or kind of putting herself out there. I mean, she does karaoke at one point. I've already read about it and I'm like, I would never do that. So like, I can't relate to that, but the fact that she gets so nervous being in public and like feeling like everyone's judging her all the time, same. And also she's very judgy of this one character, Quint, which I think is him, and it's kind of annoying, but at the same time, like, she's a sophomore in high school, and like, if you were following me as a main character when I was a sophomore in high school, I would be like 10 times more annoying. So I can't really blame her. But yeah, like I said, I'm only 40 pages in, so I'm not too far. Don't have that many thoughts. I am enjoying it. It is weird reading Marissa Meyer's writing in a contemporary setting. But I think now that this like magical little element is going to be involved, I think it's going to be really good and really interesting. And a car just drove by and it startled me. I saw the reflection in my window. Anyway, yeah, I'm very excited to keep going. Very interested to see how I end up feeling about everything. But yeah, I think it's going to start picking up. So I will check in once I have some more thoughts. But so far, so good. Okay, hello. I wanted to give a bit of an update with Instant Karma. I am now up to page 77, which is chapter 10. I've been reading this kind of slow. There's just been a lot happening this week. Everything with the election has been kind of distracting. I've also been kind of doing a lot of editing and preparing for my sister's birthday. I have a couple of things I need to do for her birthday, like I have to frost a cake at some point today, so that's just one of the things. So I've been kind of busy and also very distracted, but I'm hoping to get a lot of reading done later today, probably in the afternoon time and maybe later on tonight. But so far, I'm liking it. Our main character, Prudence, is something special. It's kind of funny because she's doing things that I can so see myself doing as well, especially when I was her age as well, so that's just been kind of funny to see. Also, there was a mention of Taylor Swift in this book, so I feel like this book was just made for me. But yeah, we are now getting to the point where Prudence, I think, has kind of figured out that when she kind of clamps her hands into fists and thinks of something that she wants to happen to somebody, it actually happens, or something bad does happen to them, like instant karma. And I think she's just kind of starting to come to that realization. So I have a feeling it's going to get quite interesting from here on out. But so far it's very cute. I feel like this would make a good like teen rom-com. I think I've already said that, but I think just like the concept itself would be super cute. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. But yeah, not too many thoughts because I'm still not super far into it, but I'm hoping to read a decent amount today. There's also the Instant Karma like virtual book launch thing happening tonight. I think it's like at 8 p.m. So I have reserved my spot. I'm hopefully going to be watching that tonight, which will be really fun. And yeah, that's it. That's the plan. We're going to watch the Marissa Meyer book launch. I'm going to try and read as much as I can of this today, and I will check in with you guys once I have some more thoughts. I'm very interested to see how this goes. So far, it's very cute. Hello, wanted to give an update on Instant Karma. I'm now up to page 123. These numbers are very small. I'm having a hard time reading them. 123. So I don't know why it's taking me so long to like get through this book, but I'm hoping to make some good progress today and probably tomorrow because I don't think I have any plans tomorrow. So on Sunday, today's Saturday. So yeah, I'm hoping to get a good chunk of the way through this. But last night, the Instant Karma like book tour launch book, what is the word I'm looking for? Okay, I used the word launch in my, now that doesn't even sound like a word, in my Instagram story, but it was basically like a virtual like book tour stop sort of thing. Obviously with the pandemic happening right now, she couldn't necessarily go on a tour, so she did a few like virtual events where you had to pay, but this one that I watched last night was free. You just had to like sign up to reserve a spot, and I watched it last night, and it was really fun to get a little behind the scenes on the book. Also, Marissa Meyer did say that Prudence is not supposed to be a likable character, and I mean, a lot of people were like, no, we like her, and I assume that they finished the book because as of right now, like, I see potential for growth, but right now she's driving me a little insane. But I think that's just because I see so much of my past self in Prudence. I feel like I acted very similar to her when I was 15, and like when you're 15 you're literally annoying. I'm sorry if you're 15 right now and you're watching this, you'll look back on yourself and know that maybe you didn't know everything like you thought you did when you were 15. Cue Taylor Swift 15. But really, like 15 or 16, around that age, there's a lot happening, and I feel like I see a lot of myself in Prudence, so I think that's why I'm like kind of annoyed with her, because like I see a lot of my 15, 16-year-old self in her. But Marissa Meyer was saying like she's not necessarily supposed to be likable, at least not at first, so I'm really excited to see that growth with Prudence throughout this book. She was also saying that there's like potential for there to be more like kind of companion novel books to this, like set at Fortuna Beach or whatever, kind of following some of the side characters. So I could definitely see like Ari, who is Prudence's best friend, seeing like a story following her, maybe even following her brother Jude. I definitely think that there's potential with some of these side characters, so I'm excited to see if that ends up happening in the future. She also said, this is me just being like a Marissa Meyer book like fangirl right now, but like, what did you all expect? She also said that there's nothing planned right now, but there's a definite maybe on continuing on with the Renegades trilogy, because she left it open-ended so that if she wanted to come back to it, she could, which is very exciting. So she said it's a very hard maybe. And then she also said that her next book that's coming out next fall is going to be a Rumpelstiltskin retelling, and I'm so excited. Like the whole Rumpelstiltskin fairy tale is very interesting. I actually went and like read a little summary of it last night. I knew sort of what it was because I watched that show Once Upon a Time on ABC Family, and they like kind of talk about it, and I just kind of knew what it was anyway. But I went and read like a summary of it on Google last night, or Wikipedia, and I'm just so interested to see how Marissa Meyer kind of takes that story and like retells it in her magical way. I'm just very excited. It sounds like it's gonna be great. But an update on the book, which is like the whole point of this vlog, Prudence is now going to be volunteering at the like animal shelter rescue place that Quint, her like lab partner that she's getting annoyed with all the time throughout the whole year, she's been struggling with him being a bad partner. She's now going to be volunteering at the same place that he also volunteers, that his mom kind of works at, so that's going to be interesting. I have a feeling Prudence is going to learn a lot about Quint that we don't know. I think she's very quick to judge him, which is part of the reason why I'm annoyed with her, but I also feel like people, when you're 15, 16 years old, you judge people. That's part of the thing. You judge people very fast, and I think it'll be interesting to see that growth with Prudence. I think that that whole like volunteering thing is definitely going to show a lot of growth with Prudence, so I'm excited. I also just love that her name is Prudence. It makes me happy. But yeah, I am hoping to read a little bit today. We do have a little small thing happening for my sister's birthday later on tonight. Her birthday is on Monday, I think. Yeah, it's on Monday, but we're celebrating tonight a little bit, so yeah, that's gonna be happening. Don't know how much reading I will be getting done when that starts, but maybe tomorrow. I don't think we have any plans tomorrow. I don't know, but I'm hoping to finish this by the beginning of next week, so hopefully I will have more thoughts the next time I check in. Hello. I want to give an update on Instant Karma because I've actually read a decent amount of this since last time I updated you guys. Also, I thought I'd give a little bit more of a summary of what's been going on in this book, because I think I really only talked about the fact that like the instant karma, like she's able to cast karma onto people, is a big thing, but it's actually not that big of a plot point as like the other stuff going on. And I know I really haven't like talked about what else is happening, so I'll try and make this kind of short. Obviously, I'm not going to try and give you like a page by page summary, but basically her lab partner the whole year in biology, Quint, she kind of just didn't trust him to do any of the work, and he always showed up late, and basically their final project of the year, they didn't get a good grade because their two parts of the project that they both did on their own didn't really come together because they didn't work together. So they were given the opportunity to redo it if they both agreed, and basically Quint didn't want to do it, but then eventually he agreed if only she agrees to volunteer at a sea animal rescue center. He has been volunteering there for a very long time. His mom has worked there a big majority of his life, I think, so he agrees to redo the project with her if she agrees to volunteer there for 4 weeks. So honestly, a lot of this book has been taking place and talking about the plan to kind of rescue the rescue center because they're needing money, they're not doing well financially, and they kind of just need better like equipment for the animals and a better situation. So Prudence kind of comes up with the idea for their, project, their redo of the project to kind of save this center. But what's been really cool to see now that I'm a little over halfway, I'm actually probably like 2/3 almost of the way through this book. What's been cool to see is Prudence's growth and her like character growth, because she went from only caring about the center in the sense that it's going to give her extra credit, it's going to give her a better grade on her project, and she's just kind of going to tolerate Quint throughout the whole thing. But now that we're like past the middle part, she's actually starting to not only care about the center and the animals and actually doing what she wants to do to save the center because she wants to do it, not just because of the project, but she's actually starting to care more about Quint. She's actually getting along with him. She's actually starting to catch feels. So that's been great to see. I think it's really cool that she's been able to actually care about the center and what she's doing, not just for her grade. But yeah, that's kind of like the focus of this book is more so on the center and Quint and Prudence kind of coming together to do what they can to help the center, and also kind of becoming friendly with one another and working to actually work together. But what's really been interesting is even though the whole like instant karma thing has been happening, it hasn't been a big part of the book, but it's been interesting because it's definitely mirroring Prudence's character growth. So like at the beginning, once she got this power, she was only like looking and focusing on the people that were doing bad things or things that annoyed her and then casting the karma onto them. But as she's kind of learning to actually care and also not be so in control of the project, learning to work with other people, learning to work with Quint, and kind of just going through that development, she realizes that karma goes both ways and that you can cast good karma onto people as well. So that's been kind of cool to see that ability also mirrored in her growth as well. I think that that's really neat. And where I've just ended, we're starting to see how a human being being in charge of dishing out karma, whether it's good or bad, is not always great. There's a reason that is left to the universe. It's not a person's job, because towards the beginning of the book, there's a girl who says something that's not maybe the nicest or in the nicest tone about Prudence's brother Jude. So Prudence casts karma onto her and that girl loses an earring. So then Prudence finds a woman who is just kind of cleaning up the beach out of the kindness of her heart, and she has like a metal detector thing, so Prudence casts good karma onto her and she finds that earring, and Prudence is like, like good karma, and also like the girl who said something bad about her brother won't find her earring again, which is kind of mean, but whatever. And then eventually she finds out that the girl who lost the earring, it was her grandmother's, and her grandmother had passed away like the year before. So then Prudence feels guilty and goes up to the lady who had found the earring, and she's like, no, I already sold it, and the money I got for the earring I donated to the Sea Animal Rescue Center. So it's just like snowballing, and it's like there's good and bad things happening because of it, and it's like Prudence, I think, is kind of having a like moral dilemma. That's kind of where I just ended off, where she realized that the money that the woman got for the earring was donated to the center. So that's kind of where I've just ended off. So I'm very interested to see like if there's any other effects that we see from Prudence and what she's done, but I think that's going to be like the biggest one. I'm very interested to see if she uses that power again and like what ends up happening, because I feel like there's got to be something big that's going to happen in this last like third of the book, whether that's with the center or with Prudence's power. So I'm very interested to see kind of where it all goes. But yeah, like I said, I have like a third of the book left. I have about 140 or so pages, so I think I'm going to try and finish this tonight, if not tomorrow. I want to get this video up soon. I want to get it up ASAP because I'm so excited about this book and I really want to share my thoughts with you guys, so I want to get it up as soon as possible. So I'm going to try and finish this tonight. I only have 140 pages left, like I said, and this is reading very quickly because it's a YA contemporary, so I have a feeling I'll be able to get through it quickly. I ended up getting distracted on TikTok for a little bit, probably like an hour at least, so that's why I wasn't really reading, but I'm going to try and not go on it for a little bit and just try and read. As for how I'm feeling about this book, I am liking it. I think it's really cute. However, it was bold of me to put this on a 5-star prediction list, even though it is Marissa Meyer, who I love, and I love her books. It's a YA contemporary, and I don't always just like love YA contemporaries. Like there's a lot that I really like, and there are some that I have given 5 stars and that I love and that are some of my favorite books, but that's rare. Like I feel like YA contemporaries, like there's a lot that I like, but there's not a lot like in the 5-star range. Like there's a lot in like the 4-star range. So will it be a 5-star? I don't know, but it is very cute, and all the talk about like sea lions and otters and things like that, I'm just crying because they're so cute, and I'm not even like seeing them. I'm just crying over the descriptions of them. So yeah, don't know if this is going to be a 5-star. We'll see. I'm very excited to see what ends up happening in the final third of the book, but that could change my mind. We don't know. Right now it's probably sitting in the 4-star area, but we'll see how I end up feeling by the end. I'm very excited to continue on, and like I said, I'm going to try and finish this tonight. So I'm going to stop babbling and I'm going to go and try and read. So since the last time I checked in with you guys, I've actually finished Instant Karma, and I kind of wanted to give all of my thoughts. I have a lot of things I wanted to say, so hopefully I don't forget them. I should have written it down. That's what the professional YouTuber probably would have done, but that's not me. So last night you would have seen in my journal that I gave this a 4.5 stars, and I think that that kind of makes sense. The first half of this book, I was kind of like, okay, it's feeling like a 4-star. I'm liking it. It's not anything that I'm like, wow, this is great. I mean, it was great, but it's like, it wasn't anything that I was like completely blown away by just from the start. I mean, kind of halfway through, I was like, okay, this is feeling like a 4-star. But then by the end, I was kind of like, okay, I finished it. I was like 5 stars. So I thought 4.5 kind of made sense. It was kind of like the perfect in the middle situation for how I felt throughout the whole book. And I think for me personally, a 4.5 for a YA contemporary that's like focusing on romance, like it'd be like a contemporary romance probably, that's pretty generous, and that's pretty good because that's not really a genre that I typically like love. There are books in that genre that I do like Gigrella and Princess and the Fangirl, those 2 books by Ashley Poston I do really enjoy, as well as like Love and Gelato I really enjoyed, but none of those were 5 stars. I feel like it takes a lot for me to really, really, really love a YA contemporary romance sort of thing. Like I like when YA contemporaries kind of are more heavy and are kind of more serious and are kind of more hard-hitting, and there can be romance in those. I just don't think I like it when that's like the main focus. So yeah, I think this getting a 4.5 is pretty good for me, and how that genre is not typically something that I genuinely like really, really, really love. And obviously like there were other things in this book happening that weren't just romance, like the whole thing with the rescue center and Prudence and Quint kind of coming together to help the center. But I think a lot of that was to forward their relationship and their like friendship and their bond and what was going to come out of that. So a lot of it was a focus on the relationship. I also wasn't sure how I was going to feel about the whole rescue center thing being like the plot point, because obviously like I love animals, but like I just didn't know if that would be interesting to read about, to be honest. I was a little hesitant at first, especially when the whole thing with this book and what I knew about it was that it was going to be like the instant karma thing. Like she was going to get these powers and she was going to be able to like cast karma onto people that she saw doing things that she thought deserved good or bad karma. So when that wasn't really the focus and it was more so on Quint and Prudence and them saving the rescue center, I was like, okay, we'll see. But I did really like it. And like I was just saying with the instant karma thing, like it definitely, like she did more with that at the beginning. And even though like it was kind of mainly at the beginning and kind of in the middle section, like a big majority of this book, she's not really doing the instant karma thing. Like she's not like casting that onto people in the big chunk of this book. However, the thing that she does at the very beginning with the girl who was saying like, was kind of being shady towards her brother, but not really, and she cast karma onto her and she lost that earring, that ended up being kind of like a big thing throughout the whole book and kind of kept snowballing and keeping the plot going, to be honest. Like it was a big part of it. So I guess even though she wasn't casting karma onto people throughout the whole thing, the one that she did at the beginning was a big part of it, if that makes sense. Because I think the last time I checked in, I said that the earring that she made that girl lose belonged to her grandmother who had passed away like the year before, and then the woman that found it ended up selling it to the pawn shop and then donating the money she got to the rescue center. So since that happened, Prudence was kind of looking to get the money back and was kind of being sneaky and looking in the jar that the money was donated into, but it was missing, and she didn't do anything with the money she found. She literally was just looking to see if it was there because she was going to try and get the earring back, but she didn't do anything. She just was looking for the money. But then Quint saw her looking at the money, and then eventually it led to them thinking that she stole the money. And then the woman that actually stole the money, it wasn't Prudence that stole the money, the actual woman that was a worker at this rescue center who was stealing the money had the earring. She bought the earring and put it on a necklace, and it just kind of kept snowballing, and that one earring, that one situation with the earring just kind of kept forwarding the plot, so it was a big part of it. So I kind of makes up for the fact that the whole instant karma thing wasn't like a big part of the book and wasn't happening throughout, because that one thing that she did at the beginning was kind of in throughout the whole thing. I feel like I didn't explain that very well, but if you're watching this, you either just don't care about getting spoiled for this book and don't care about it, or you've already read the book and you know what I'm talking about, so it's fine. So yeah, I thought that the plot was good. I think that was kind of like my biggest thing though, is like at the beginning I just wasn't really sure about it, and I wasn't sure about the direction of where the book was going to go, and I wasn't like completely invested in the first half of this book. The second half of the book definitely was a lot more interesting for me, so that's kind of where I kind of knocked that half point down. The characters of this book I also really enjoyed. Prudence, I don't know. The thing with Prudence is I relate to her as someone who was a sophomore in high school. Obviously, like, I'm not anymore, but when I was a sophomore in high school, I kind of acted like Prudence. So reading about her, it's like, it's annoying because I'm annoyed with my past self for acting that way. And so therefore she's annoying me, but I also understand that like that's how I acted. That's how teenagers act. So like it makes sense. I just was annoyed with her, but it made sense, and I didn't dislike her for the things that she was doing just because she is a teenager and she made assumptions and she was quick to be judgmental. And the thing is like I was like that when I was a sophomore in high school. And the thing is like when you're a teenager, you are quick to judge people, I think, and some people just don't grow out of that too. Like there are people who still are quick to judge people now and are adults and are, you know, grown people who have gone through high school and are still quick to judge. So I definitely think that I relate to her in that sense because I was a very judgmental teenager. And the thing is, I don't read YA to necessarily like relate to the characters because like I'm 22 years old. I'm not going to relate to a 15-year-old, but 15-year-old me was Prudence. But even then, like there's still certain things about Prudence that I can relate to. Her kind of being a control freak, kind of thinking that if she doesn't do it, it's not going to be done right, and kind of being a perfectionist. But also some of like her insecurities as well I could relate to. Also the fact that she is scared of sharks. Same. I don't know if it's smart to admit on the internet that one of my biggest fears is sharks, but it is. And Prudence is also terrified of sharks. So that was just one of those like smaller things too that I could relate to. So I just found Prudence too relatable. Past me and current me could relate. And so I liked her for that, but also it was just like, it was just too real. And Quint, who's the love interest, was just too perfect. I mean, all these teenage boys in these YA books are just unrealistic. If there was a teenage boy when I was in high school who spent his spare time volunteering at a rescue center, I would have fallen in love in like 2 seconds. Like, that's not fair. But Quint, I really liked. I really liked Quint a lot. I also really liked a lot of the other side characters as well. I know I was saying earlier that Marissa Meyer said that there was definitely potential for more books to be written in this town following other characters, and I would love to see that because I feel like we got kind of teased with a lot of these characters and their personalities and their dreams and what they want to do, because I wish we got more of it. But I also feel like if she were to write books following them, I would be satisfied. So yeah, I definitely could see there being more books following some of the side characters, and I would love to see them because I would love to get more from them. But yeah, overall, this was very cute. I think as someone who doesn't typically love YA contemporary romance books, this is pretty high up on my list of favorites from that type of genre. And I think if you love YA contemporary, like, you're gonna like this. Like, I think it's objectively a good book. That genre is just not typically my thing. So the fact that I gave it a 4.5 I think says a lot. Also, it is Marissa Meyer and I do love her writing, so that was a bonus. I feel like I've been babbling on about this book for a very long time, but just one more thing to say. Compared to her other books, I did a tier ranking video actually, and if I were to put this in that tier ranking, like where I would put it, I'd probably put it in like the middle tier. I don't think it's her worst book, but I don't think it's like a personal favorite to be kind of on the top 2 tiers. But if we were to just like group together her series, so like The Lunar Chronicles, Heartless, The Standalone, and then Renegades, and then this would probably be at the bottom. This would probably be my least favorite out of all of them, but I think that's just because those kind of have an unfair advantage for being more so in my favorite genres. So yeah, I think that's probably why, but I definitely liked this. It was definitely cute. I would love for her to write more books kind of set in this town, but I'm also very excited to see what she writes in the future. I think she's, like I said, she's writing a Rumpelstiltskin retelling. I think that's her next book, and I'm very excited. I'm very excited to get back into Marissa Meyer fantastical magical land. It's gonna be great. But yeah, I think that is going to wrap up my reading vlog for Instant Karma. I've been babbling for like almost 20 minutes now, so I think it's time for me to wrap it up. But I would love to know if you've read this, what are your thoughts? Did you like it? Compared to her other books, where do you think you would place it? Is this more your thing? Is it less your thing? I would love to know your thoughts. Also, real quick before I leave, I have to show you. Look at this place on my shelf for this book. I mean, it was made for that book. I'm so pleased about that. I've been waiting to put the book on the shelf in that spot this whole time, so I'm very excited, and I had to share how pleasing it was that it just fit right in. Okay, that's going to complete this reading vlog. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe down below if you have not already. Also, don't forget to click that little bell notification so you can be notified every time I upload. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.